Hey, probably would talk about, yeah, the aspects of what actually makes a successful physique athlete. Like when you're on stage, what are the judges looking for?
Yeah, let's start with bodybuilding. Like actual, the division of bodybuilding. Will you list him out for us, Jeff? That's the easiest one. Okay, why do you say the easiest?
Because I think especially on the natural side is like all the attributes. It's like just fill them out to the like no one's gonna get docked points for being too lean, or too muscular. It's just like get carried away with it as much as you can when it comes to the criteria, basically. So it's really straightforward. Like for me, like for example, it's just like every off season's like, what am I gonna do? Put on as much muscle as possible. Where there's other divisions where like sometimes you hear that they tell girls like, hey, maybe ease up off this just a tiny bit, because you look a little odd up there. So yeah, it's easy because it's the most extreme of the divisions.
The most extreme and the most objective.
Yeah.
Like the judges have what criteria, Jeff?
Size, like Berto said. I mean, the more muscle you
Size.
have, I mean, the better off you're going to be. I mean, so size is high priority. Symmetry, meaning how well your physique flows, like your upper compared to your lower, your legs in comparison to like your torso size. Just making sure that all musculature is well balanced. Like you don't want any, let's say, flaws where you kind of look at your physique and go, okay, his back is small in comparison to maybe his front, or it's in comparison to his lower body. Like the more complete you are, the less flaws I should say you have, the more successful you're going to be. So I would say out of the three main criteria would be size, symmetry, and then conditioning, like as far as how lean you are. Like those
Right.
are the three main aspects. So then from there, it's like, okay, so if you're complete in all three, then most likely you're going to be very, very competitive. But if you're lacking in one of those or two of those, then yeah, you're going to have a tougher time. So when we talk symmetry, I mean, a lot of times it comes down to genetics. Like you might have someone with a small waist, such as like Berto or myself. We have pretty small waists. So we're naturally just going to have an advantage over someone who's, let's say, a little more blocky. And I hate to throw Brad under the bus, but
He throws
I mean,
himself under the bus. You can throw
yeah,
me. I'm blocky.
that's why I'm comfortable talking about Brad, because he's not going to get offended. So, his waist is a little on the blockier side. So when you have someone who's small waisted, then their extremities are going to look that much more impressive. You're gonna have broader shoulders, more flare to the quads.
Or it's going to appear that your shoulders
the illusions are going to be like, okay, you look bigger than, let's say, someone with a blockier waist. Unless that person, like Brad, he has to kind of make up for it with conditioning. So, whenever he was prepping, it was like, okay, let me get as shredded as humanly possible to make up that deficiency. And what's interesting too is like you can take Brad, put him in one lineup, and he might not do too well, but you put him in a totally, completely different lineup, and he might like be the standout. So it's kind of like boxing. When you look at boxing, you think like, oh, Mike Tyson can beat this other boxer, but then when they get in the ring, it's not that case. Or you take Mike Tyson, you put him with a different boxer, and he might lose to that, but he's beating someone else. So it's about matchups a lot too.